Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy BlackPalladino coming at you with another Hypixel Pit video, and today I'm going to be giving you 10 tips that I think can improve your pit experience. Now, these tips are going to be tailored more towards the newer players who are joining the game mode, and as a player myself with over 1,000 hours and Prestige 22 at the moment, I think I know one or two things about this game. Alright, without further ado, let's jump into the video. Alright, coming in at tip number 1. When you first prestige as a brand new pit player, the first thing you should buy from the Renown shop is the Iron Pack. The Iron Pack makes sense because currently there are only 5 ways to obtain a head armor piece. Those are Safety First, which is a chainmail helmet, Fancy Hat, which is a Renown upgrade in the form of leather. There's the Iron Helm, there's the Diamond Helm, and then there's the Golden Helm. Now, if you're a brand new player, a diamond helmet or a golden helmet are probably not your best choice since they are lost on death. And if you're a brand new player, you probably don't have the right perk setup or the right mystics to optimize using them, as they can be somewhat expensive. The chainmail helmet, or using the safety first perk, takes up a super valuable perk slot, especially when you only have 3 as a brand new player, and it's less defense than what the Iron Pack or the Iron Helm offers. And then the Fancy Hat can only be unlocked until Prestige 5, and it's leather. Even though it's not a perk, it's a renown upgrade, it's not as strong as iron. And the reason I'm focusing on the helmet is because the helmet piece offers so much defense. It's better to be fully armored, and up until the Iron Pack was released, there wasn't really a way for a player to get a reliable helmet defense without having to sacrifice a perk slot or prestiging all the way up till Prestige 5. So right away, being fully armored gives you such a huge advantage in the form of defense that it's a no-brainer. Buy the Iron Pack. I'm here streaking in iron. Big difference having the Iron Helm. So make sure to get that. All right, let's move on to the next tip. All right, for tip number 2, and this was one that you should probably know by now. Go to every single event, whether it's a minor or a major one. The Dragon Egg gives you a ton of XP, 2 times reward, King of the Ladder for gold. You can also get renown from winning the major events. Like, you guys need to go to every single one of these when they're announced, because there's just so much XP to be gained, and you can also get some gold too. And for a low prestige player, for a new player, like these, you can really level up from these events. So attend every event you can. All right, for our third tip, guys, now that you have access to the Renown shop after you've prestiged, save your Renown and don't buy useless upgrades or upgrades that aren't beneficial to you at this time. And I'm speaking to Prestiges 1 through 5, as sometimes, you hear about the Prestige 2 who maxed out Fishing Club, and like, what are you doing? So guys, just to give you a few examples, you can always ask players what's good to buy, but here are a few examples of things that you should not be buying at like Prestiges 1 through 5. You should definitely not be putting that much renown into mysticism, maybe 1 just to activate it, but no more than that. Do not spend any on Fishing Club unless you're one of the devoted members of the fishing community. I might make a whole video on them because they're an interesting bunch. Definitely, I don't think Fancy Hat is worth it anymore, especially because Iron Pack is so cheap, and well, because you can get an Iron Helm from the Iron Pack, which is much better than the leather helm or the leather cap that you get from the Fancy Hat. So those are just a few of the renown upgrades that you should not be buying at Prestiges 1 through 5. So guys, for tip number 3, do not spend your renown on useless upgrades. Instead, save it for upgrades that will be much beneficial as you unlock them. Now, moving on to our next tip. Tip number 4, you need to start familiarizing yourself with mystics. To keep it simple, because there's so much depth to mystics, fresh pants go anywhere between 10 to 15,000 gold. Fresh swords go from 7 to 10,000 gold, and fresh bows go for about 3,000 gold unenchanted. Now, there are so many different enchants and combinations that can be had on a pair of pants or a sword that it would be difficult to cover them in this tips video. So what you should do is, if you get some sort of enchant, if you decide you do want to enchant and you enchant a pair of pants or a sword, you should definitely price check the enchants you get on your items. One way to do that is by heading on over to my Discord. We have a price check channel and you should ask around. Get a couple of quotes. Don't just get it from one person. This will help you avoid getting scammed or sharked by a more experienced player. Too many times you see a brand new player get a really good enchant that gets sniped by a much more experienced player. So to prevent that, make sure you get a couple of quotes on your items. And a good place to do that is over at my Discord. So make sure to join. Can't wait to see you guys there. All right, moving on to tip number 5. Whatever you do, you should never try an Uber streak while Dr. Mina is online. Man's literally streaks in Dark Venoms. He goes after anyone on an Uber streak, and he's even rumored to be the cause of Fish Soup getting banned because he went toe-to-toe with Fish Soup, and Fish Soup actually had to toggle so hard that the account got whoever's on the account got banned. So if you see Dr. Mena, do not try an Uber unless you're trying to get banned. Now, this is some insider information, but you know all those accounts that are being stat wiped? Well, the reason they're being stat wiped is because Dr. Mena was hunting them and they toggled so hard it literally triggered the stat wipe. So hot tip, if you see Dr. Mina online, do not Uber. Nowadays he spends most of his time on Skyblock. Thank God, because he would have literally destroyed the pit on his lonesome by his lonely. So if you're gonna take anything from this video, it's never go on an Uber while Dr. Mina's online. The only mystery that remains is how is Pit community figure and authority Dr. Mina getting so many dark pants? Who is supplying his dark pants? And why is this person supplying him? And why are so many accounts getting stat wiped? All right, moving on to tip number 6. All right, shout out to Dr. Mina for that one. He literally taught me how to do that whole funny thing from his pizza video. If you guys haven't seen it, go check it out. Anyway, tip number 6. You should, if you have the Renown and you've already gotten Tenacity 1, Extra Hearts 1, your extra perk slot and the way, you should definitely look into buying Heresy. Now, before Heresy was mainly looked at as a way to get dark pants, but another thing that comes with Heresy are the night quests where you can actually get chunks of Vile from. And I don't know if you guys have noticed, but the price of Chunk of Vile has gone way up thanks to the fact that you can use Chunk of Vile to repair Mystics. So it's actually probably, depending on what prestige you can afford, Heresy is probably more worth it than Mysticism because of the Chunk of Vile that you can get. I don't really know what it's going for at the moment. I think it's like maybe 5k, 3k gold per chunk. I don't know, do some shopping, ask people, maybe join my Discord and ask people there how much Chunk of Vile is worth. But it's definitely a worthwhile investment unlocking Heresy. All right, moving on to tip number 7, and that is to get yourself a pair of Mind Assaults, specifically for major events such as Rage Pit, Robbery, Beast, and even Squads. Now, I don't really understand the mechanics behind Mind Assaults, but I, a Prestige 22, I still sometimes use Mind Assaults, especially when I'm a low level in a lot of these major events. It just makes it so easy to win the event. You do so much damage because of how the enchant works. So get your hands on a pair of Mind Assaults. They're worth a couple of fresh. If you need a more accurate price check on how much Mind Assaults are, ask around. Like I said, come join my Discord. You can ask people there, and maybe some people have some extra pair lying around that they might let you have. So get a pair of Mind Assaults. They're good for like 3 of the major events that happen, and they just make it so easy to collect renown XP and gold from these events. So it's a no-brainer to invest in a pair of Mind Assaults. Okay, moving on to tip number 8. If you guys didn't already know, you have access to 3 quests that give gold. It's 1 weekly and 2 daily quests. Now, I believe the weekly resets every Thursday or Wednesday night, and the dailies will reset every 24 hours from when you complete them. This is an easy and free way to get gold, and especially when you're a brand new player or when you're a lower level player, this is so helpful because getting gold can sometimes be extremely difficult when you're first starting out, especially since you need to buy a bunch of upgrades and stuff. So definitely do not forget to do these quests. The weekly is 10,000 gold, I believe, and the dailies are 1,000 gold each. So do those. They will help a ton, especially when you're new, especially when you're a low level. All right, guys, for our 9th tip, and I've even made a video on this, take advantage of the King's Quest. Now, normally what I like to do is I'll prestige, complete the King's Quest, and it'll bring you up to level 80, and then it'll make that prestige that much easier. So take advantage of this. This map is here every 4 weeks because there are 5 maps in rotation and they rotate weekly. So this is the only week out of 5 that you can do the King's Quest. So much gold, so much XP. It gets you to level 80 of any prestige that you're in. So definitely worth it. Super valuable. Do not miss out on it. I've made a whole video on it. So if you want to go check that out, I'll probably link it. But guys, if you're new, do not miss out on the King's Quest. All right, guys, and for our last and probably, in my opinion, the most important tip to remember that'll help you and it'll improve your pit experience is to have fun. Guys, this game mode can be very toxic. It's definitely 10 times more toxic than 2B2T, and it's very easy to get lost in all the hate and toxicity. And everyone always wants an update in this game mode. Update this, update that. Guys, what if the real update were the friends we made along the way? Remember to enjoy the game, because at the end of the day, we play this game because we like it. As much as we hate on it, we like this game mode. That's why we're still here. That's why I'm making videos. Remember to enjoy the game. It's been your boy BlackPalladino. These are my 10 tips. These have been my 10 tips that'll help you improve your Hypixel Pit gameplay experience. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you guys have tips of your own. I might make another video. I might just quit making videos because what I just said was kind of cringe, not gonna lie. But we'll see. We'll see. If you've made it this far, guys, please consider dropping a like. Please consider subscribing. Guys, from what I remember, the pit is still due a few updates. So, you know, let's turn this thing around. Staff have been way more proactive with their bans. I've seen a ton of dark hoppers getting banned a lot more frequently. Yes, there's always more hoppers coming through, but I've seen an increased level of activity from the staff in banning them. And you know what? Slowly but surely, this game mode is going to turn around. If you've stuck this long, guys, I'm about to give you a bonus tip. That's right, a bonus tip that only you are going to know because you stuck around this long. All right, guys, if you kill enough of these chickens here that you can get by shooting that target over there, you can actually get a raw chicken, which you can then put in the furnace to receive a marvelous chicken.